Hi, my name's Will, and this summer I took on my first thru-hike on the Tahoe Rim Trail. So come with me on 170 miles of the Sierra's finest hiking, where I find out if weeks of planning and hundreds of dollars spent is enough for me to complete my dream. Our first day started at the Kingsbury North Trailhead on the lower east side of the lake. We chose this spot because halfway through our trip we could resupply in Tahoe City. But none of that mattered now because we had 15 miles and over 4,000 feet to climb to get to our first campsite. We took our first day pretty easy, stopping for frequent breaks, and there's plenty of spots to fill up water. Even with over 4,000 feet to climb the first day, I was just happy to be on the trail. I'm gonna leave the city, got to get away. I'm gonna leave the city, got to get away. All this fussing and fighting, man, you know I sure can't stay. I didn't know it yet, but our first campsite would be one of the most beautiful spots on the whole TRT. Sometimes when I'm laying in bed, I still think of this one spot, and the next morning was one I would never forget. Star Lake doesn't look like much on a map, but it turned out to be one of my favorite spots on the Tahoe Rim. With a beautiful sunrise and some homemade oats, this is the moment I realized I was gonna love this thru-hiking thing. It's lucky if we get these moments once in a lifetime, let alone every day. After breakfast was done, I had no other choice but to pack up and head on to our next campsite. And it would be a hard day with over 20 miles of consecutive hiking.
Driving through West Virginia, and I've seldom been thinner, with that chip on my shoulder. And this past year I got so much older.
After hiking over 19 miles, we met up with the PCT towards the end of the day, one of the most famous thru-hiking trails, where we would spend over 40 miles on it with other thru-hikers going from Mexico to Canada until we reached Tahoe City.
Listening to you speak your mind, now I'm thinking about it every day on my mind.
As we moved closer to Desolation Wilderness, we found out that the west side of the lake is filled with mosquitoes. So after camping at Showers Lake, we packed up our stuff and got out of there as fast as possible. After a little over 15 miles of hiking, we set up our tents at one of my favorite spots in the Tahoe Rim. I'm not sure if it beats Star Lake, but it sure as hell comes close. Welcome to Lake Aloha.
With only a 10-mile day ahead of us, we took our time packing up in the morning, and we sure as hell enjoyed ourselves in Lake Aloha, one of the most pristine spots I've ever visited. But eventually, we had to head off on our hike to Dick's Pass, one of the highest points on the whole Tahoe Rim. After hiking down from Dick's Pass, we camped out at Fontanelli's Lake, where we were soon attacked by a swarm of mosquitoes and were forced to go to bed early, hiding in our tents. Day 5 was another easy hike with only 10 miles to Richardson Lake. It was at this point in the trail when we really felt like we were getting a hang of this thru-hiking thing. We were only 5 days in, but our mind and bodies started to adapt to the trail. With a hunger for more miles, I left my group early in the morning and set out on my own, with an ambitious goal to reach Tahoe City, which was over 5 miles more than I originally planned. But at this point, the only thing that could stop me was myself, and it felt like anything was possible.
As soon as you are able, woman, I am willing to make the break that we are on the brink of. My cup is on the table, my love is feeling, waiting here for you to take and drink of. So if you're tired of the same old story, oh, turn some pages. I'll be here when you are ready to roll with the changes. Yeah, yeah. I knew it had.
We are 5 miles out from Tahoe City. I'm currently alone. I left at 4:30 this morning, and I just had lunch. It's only like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I'm about to be at where I was supposed to camp tonight, but I think I'm just gonna go all the way to Tahoe City and kind of camp out, maybe get some treats, the store, something like that. But we're gonna figure it out.
To roll with the changes.
After a long day, I got to Tahoe City around 2 p.m. I charged up my power banks, all my electronics, and enjoyed a much-deserved treat. Then, for the rest of the way, I enjoyed myself and waited for my partners to get back. After Tahoe City is where we finally started to get some good views of the lake, with big overarching shots like this becoming common.
Oh shit! It's beautiful!
Once again, we became ambitious on doing big miles, so we combined 2 days for a total of 24 miles to our next campsite, which I have to say is something special, and I would definitely recommend if you are doing the TRT.
Tears run dry. Will I ever be free? Will I ever be free? Lord, I wanna be free. Well, I'm a broken rider, I'm a restless fighter, and I'm looking for a little hope.
Waking up after cowboy camping in the dark to this view is something that I'll never forget. After 4,000 feet of climbing in only 9 miles, we reached the highest point in the TRT, Relay Peak. And it's here where we really felt like the TRT was beginning to come to an end, at 10,285 feet.
What am I waiting for? Seatbelts beneath. My compass, my transport.
Taking in an easy morning, we left Mount Rose Campground around 10 a.m. and were eager to see how far we could go. Little did we know it would be our last day on trail as we pushed ourselves to our new limits and found out that we were capable of so much more than we thought possible.
When the sun comes up on a sleepy little town down around San Antonio, and the folks are rising for another day, round about their home. The people of the town are strange, and the crowd are where they came. Where you talking about
It is here on this ridge where I experienced hiker's high for the first time ever. And this is why we decided to combine our last 2 days and push to the end with over 35 miles of consecutive hiking.
Give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I could taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your light.
Oh my god.
And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know